We are going to be doing something a little different this week for our meals, and we thought we'd take you along for the process. First of all, I do want to point out that we are not going vegan. This has nothing to do with Lent. This genuinely just has to do with, seems like for the last 2 months we have been sick and I'm over it, and I'm just wanting to kind of build up our immune systems again, kind of give our bodies all the fruits and veggies that I can. So we decided to do something fun. It was a unanimous vote to go vegan for a week. So I have a haul to share with you. I did not get to everything today. I just had limited time, and I was babysitting a kid, and I just had this feeling I should be home earlier than when it was time for his dad to pick him up. And I'm really glad I followed that instinct, because he was here like 45 minutes earlier than normal. So glad I didn't try to push in 2 stores, but there will be a part 2 to this that you'll see right after this haul. Like, it's not going to be a different video, but I'm hoping to go to Kroger tomorrow because they do have some produce on sale. So the idea here is, at this point in time, if you've been following my channel, I live on a very small budget, and this week I really don't have any money for groceries. So my thinking was, if I have to pull money from savings anyway to do groceries, why not kind of have a little bit of fun with that? So we are going vegan this week. For the most part, we're vegetarian for our breakfasts and lunch. For the most part, not necessarily always, but vegan's going to be a little different. And like I said, it's kind of to give our bodies a little bit of a boost, but also I really want to learn how to make more plant-based, not really vegetarian, but plant-based meals, and that's where the hope of this is going to go. So if this is interesting to you, this is a family of 7 trying plant-based foods for a week. I'll share with you what I have in my house right now, as well as the meal plan. But this came to $76.62, and I do have stuff on hand that I'm going to supplement with it. I genuinely thought I was going to have so much more like veggies and fruit here, but that was kind of a unique thing about this. So let me share with you what I got from Walmart, and then we are going to go into what I have here that I'm going to be adding to it, and the meal list. Now, if I can remember, I will try to film this week of us having this plant-based meals, so that if you're looking for something like this, you have it. However, I just don't know how realistic that's going to be. Just throwing it out there. I know Monday's going to be pretty crazy with babysitting, so we will see. Okay, so without further ado, let me just kind of get into the groceries here. I picked up 1 loaf of gluten-free bread. I do need to try to stay more soy-free if possible. This one is a dairy, soy, and nut-free. It is not vegan, though, if I recall. Yes, because it contains eggs. That's why. But this is one that we can have. This one was in the discounted section, and I needed a couple slices for the kid today that I babysit. I just grabbed this whole thing because I thought this would make a really good toast with the French onion soup for those of us that can have the wheat, and those that want the gluten-free could have the gluten-free. I have 2 things of cilantro here and 1 of parsley. I have a bunch of bananas, like a bunch, so 4 bunches of bananas here. I will put probably a couple of these in the freezer, like slice them up and put them in the freezer for smoothies. That really is the best way to do it. I don't like to freeze them whole, and I don't like to freeze them even in chunks. I just like to slice them up, put them on a cookie sheet, and put them in the freezer, and then put those in Ziploc bags, and I use it like that. That just works out best. It's kind of like an ice for our smoothies, and just blends really well. And then I can give my 5-year-old the job of dicing it up, and it gives him a good project to do. We are going to have stir fry one night, and you'll see some of the stuff I have here, but one of the ones that I was thinking was to grab some snow peas. This is a little bit cheaper than sugar snap peas, but if I did sugar snap peas, there was a danger of it not making it till the day that I cook it. So there are 12 Granny Smith apples here. I price checked getting the loose Granny Smith and then the 3-pound bags of Granny Smith, and these were 50 cents a pound cheaper to get them loose, so I did that. I have 2 things of zucchini here. They are not, the zucchini was very slim picking, but I really do like a good sauteed zucchini, and zucchini and mushroom and onion are really good. So I just have that on hand, even though it's not necessarily in the menu for this week. If I just did like some zucchini, some onions, some mushrooms, some sweet potato, like kind of make a breakfast hash, that would be really enjoyable. I have some mandarin oranges here. This was definitely a splurge. Like I said, I'm trying really hard to kick our immune systems, kick our bodies into hyper functions to keep fighting this 2-month sickness that we've been dealing with. So I picked up some cuties. This is a 5-pound bag, and I believe this was $7.46. Price calculating lemons. This ended up being 12 cents cheaper to get it in the bag than it would be loose, because loose was 64 cents each, and this was $4.12 for the bag, and there's 7 in here. So this was cheaper. I have 2 avocados here, 1 thing of celery. I grabbed 2 granolas. Originally the idea was to begin this vegan, or I keep saying vegan, this plant-based meals on Monday, but we're kind of thinking of doing it tomorrow, which is Saturday. But Sunday is just a crazy day. We got to get out to church within a half hour of waking up, pretty much. So this is kind of our meal to go. That's just a convenient thing for me in the morning. I have a thing of lentils. This is going to be probably the biggest challenge of this, because my husband, well, most of us do not like lentils. So we'll see. But one of the recipes that I have is for a meatballs, and you use lentils in it. So I'm hoping that the barbecue sauce and all that kind of stuff kind of hides the taste of the lentils. We'll see how that goes. This is not part of the meal plan, but I did see a 2-pack of cream cheese, and when I do, I pick it up because that is something that is not very, it's hard to get. Pasta was very limited, very, very limited. No gluten-free pasta at Walmart. That was the other thing at Walmart. Salsa was very limited, and most of the brands that I'm used to seeing were completely gone. There wasn't even a sticker for them. So I thought that was interesting. I picked up 1 thing of oats. I just did this instead of going to my Amish salvage store because I knew I would spend more money if I did that. And I picked up 1 thing of dates. Now this will be probably one of the first recipes that I make, because these will go very fast. So there's that. I did pick up 3 dozen eggs from my Amish lady that has nothing going on this week. And lastly, I have this just to kind of keep in the fridge. It just sounded so good, and actually it's been sounding good for over a week now. And so I picked it up, even though it's not necessarily affordable or anything like that. That's just something I really wanted. So I will share with you the meal plan and the items that I currently have that will help the list, the meal prep, and all of that for this week. Okay, let me share with you what I pulled out from my cupboards to kind of work with this. Now this isn't everything, so I will be doing a little bit of meal prep, and we'll be kind of working with that. So I think this is just going to end up being a full vlog of how we've done it, never experiencing plant-based completely like this before. So first of all, I pulled out all of the legumes that I own. I really want to be careful with how many legumes we use, or beans, just because we do tend to be a little more sensitive to it in this household. I do have 4 bags of black beans. You heading out? Yeah. Okay. I have 4 bags of 1 pound of black beans. I love you. I have 2 2-pound bags of white northern beans and 1 thing of pintos. I just pulled all of the beans out, mainly because I thought I had a garbanzo bean and I don't. So that was like a whoops. Alright, so let's talk about what I do have. So I have those. I found 2 bags of raisins. A mama in our church was actually wanting these, and I thought I gave her all I had, but obviously I didn't. We are dehydrating kind of our own, and these are what my kids like better. They like the dehydrated grapes that I do versus the raisins. Those will be gone in no time. I've already had these for, I don't know, 2 months. So I have some of that. Since I pulled this out, we're kind of working through this. It is an older popcorn. It was given to me and it has like a good layer of dust on it. So it's older and it's taking a little bit more time to kind of go through. Half of them don't really pop. So anyway, working through that. I have some, I have some rice. So this is my rice that I normally pick up. This is a basmati rice. I buy this at Walmart for about $18 and it's $20. In my freezer, I have 3 jars of pinto beans. I pulled this out of the freezer. This is some homemade salsa that ends up being a little bit more runny, so adding like a little bit of tomato sauce works well to kind of thicken it a little bit. And then this is some pinto beans. So we'll, like I said, I have a ton of beans here, but I'm trying really hard not to make this a huge bean base. I want it to be more fruits and vegetables. But if I was to do legumes, garbanzo beans seems to be the easiest on my husband's stomach. And I thought for sure I had 2 bags of garbanzo beans to cook up, but all I could find was this can. So might have to get a little creative here, or I may just end up going and getting some garbanzo beans, I'll be honest. We're going to make a wild rice soup, so I have some wild rice here. I have some quinoa. I have this that I actually bartered with a mama from church. I want to talk really briefly about that. Briefly because my camera is blinking at me. You have 3 minutes left. Bartering. I started a local Facebook page, and you can do this with any kind of thing, groups. I did this back in California before we moved out here. But I created a local Facebook page that says, hey, I have, for example, this week, I have, well, that's a little better, but we'll see how this works. At least I'm not blue. Bartering. I started a local Facebook page, and like I said, for this week, I didn't say it yet. Let me explain. This week I said, hey, I have 2 half-gallons of milk and I'm looking for some eggs. Does anybody want to barter? And someone chimed in saying, hey, I could really use some milk. I have eggs, yada, yada, yada. So I might even ask, hey, I've got some white northern beans. I really need garbanzo beans. Anybody need to swap? Or I might say, hey, I've got some pasta sauce. I really need some garbanzo beans. Anybody want to swap? Or I need garbanzo beans. Is there something I may have that we can swap for in bartering? Bartering is awesome. We need to bring back bartering. So we will see how that works. Anyway, I've got some red hot sauce and some cauliflower that came in the food trucks. Go watch previous videos to understand what I'm talking about. But I'm going to make like a buffalo wing type of thing with that. I have a cabbage that's also from the food trucks. The only stir fry that I could find in my freezer, and I thought this was the case, I just have 1 bag. So I'm going to be kind of making my own with some onions and more carrots and those snow peas, and just kind of bulking this up a little bit. I have some flaxseed meal because obviously we're going to need some kind of egg replacement. In full disclosure here, I will probably just end up using eggs. I have done this before with the flax meal and making my own flax meal eggs, and I don't think it turns out that great. So especially because a lot of what we have, maybe it works better if you use like a wheat-based flour, and we're gluten-free based insofar as possible. So that may be a whole nother thing. I have this plant-based protein powder. I've already had it. When I find protein powder on sale, really cheap, I pick it up. This one's really good. We like this one. There's that. I have local honey. I have some pecans, some almond flour, and this is grated zucchini that I had in my freezer that we're going to use to make the zucchini muffins. So these are the few items that I picked up today from Kroger, and the total came to almost $40. I'll put the exact total down here for you, but we picked up a spring baby mix on sale for $1.79. We picked up 3 of these for my husband to take with him to work. Now they do have meat in them, but I knew that we were not going to have a lot of leftovers with the plans this week of what to eat, so I wanted to make sure he had some food. We have the kiwis that were on sale, several of these that I got for my older kids, and probably my middle kid. I think he will really appreciate that. So we have 3 of these, and I think my middle son ran off with the one. There is one of these. This one has a very, well, I hope it filmed, but anyway, we got some of this, and we got the pink one, and we got the green ones. And then I picked up 1 thing of rice cakes. I figured this would be really good with some almond butter on it if we needed a little extra boost to kind of feel full. And then we're having company for dinner tonight, so I grabbed this one. I thought this would be really good because we're going to do a vegetable soup dinner, and then on the side I have some meat that they can add to it if they want it. But this will be for tonight, and then this will mix with our other greens, and then some bell peppers for snack, some of these for snack, and my son picked up this for his kind of pre-workout or after-workout snack. He's doing something with that. So this is the haul, and again, I think it was almost $40. Now let me share with you the rest of the meals that we're going to have this week. Okay, so we're back from church, and this is what we had for breakfast. Okay, let's look after them, and I will show you what we're going to have for lunch. So as always, I will leave all of the recipes that I use in the description box below, but we are starting this week off again with the granola for breakfast, and then our first recipe is going to be this French onion soup, and we have so many onions, and this is approximately 3 pounds of onions, which is really good because a lot of them, you can kind of see greens in here, it's because a lot of them are sprouting. So here you can kind of see I have some sprouting onions. So I wanted to kind of make sure that they get used up. But anyway, so we're going to start out with that, and then we're going to have a vegetable soup for dinner with the company that's coming. So that'll be great, and that's just going to kind of simmer just the onions for another 20 minutes. Everybody kind of went through the house crying because it is pungent in here. And I think when you're a little more stuffy, you're kind of more sensitive to the onion because the onion does do a lot of like cleansing. So I'm okay with us kind of crying a little bit more if it gets whatever is congesting us out of our system. So we have that, and while that's cooking, I'm actually going to get started on my zucchini muffins. I have reached out to my friend since she is trying to start up a blog for her her recipes. We did Trim Healthy Mama together for so many years, and she has kind of adapted her own lifestyle, gluten-free, dairy-free. She needs to be dairy-free, which is a super big help to me right now, since I have a daughter that needs to really go dairy-free and a son that really should be dairy-free. Anyway, all that to say, I'm really looking forward to sharing more of her recipes with you from the blog. But in the meantime, I'm just going to keep this recipe a secret until she shares that with you. But I will leave a comparable recipe link down below for you. So I'm going to get started on that. I had zucchini that I grated last year and put in the freezer using the Three Rivers Homestead method. And I'm going to get started on that. And there's the muffins. They were really good too. I ate mine because again I don't really eat breakfast, and yeah, that was delicious. I think it's also important to document when meals turn out and when meals don't, and this definitely did not turn out. The soup did not turn out very well at all. It was way more vinegary than my family likes. I do like vinegar-based meals. I like Italian dressing. I like a Greek dressing, but not necessarily my family. And there definitely was a lot more vinegar in this, especially because I did not have any white wine, so I used a white wine vinegar. So what I'm thinking of doing is using that as a base for a lentil soup, which will change my menu up a little bit. But lentils, I think, will help absorb that. The salt, it was pretty salty. I think having lentils will kind of help absorb that. So we're going to try to like redeem the soup. But I'll keep you posted on how that goes. So a little update of what we have going on here. Same day, but my daughter and I went for a walk and I changed into something a little cooler. But I have our applesauce cake done. That'll be the dessert for tonight. You're supposed to top it with powdered sugar, but I don't have any, so we're just gonna eat it as is. A friend of mine made me some of this caramel apple butter, so we could top it with some of that if we so desire. But anyway, for dinner in my pot, I have here some onions and celery and carrot and potatoes and garlic and mushrooms, and I'm bringing that to a boil. And I don't have any vegetable broth, and the Dollar General, which is just down the road from me, does not have any either. So I kind of came up with a solution. I had a can of green beans and I dumped the juice in there. I had a can of corn and I dumped the juice in there. And then I have those saved for our fried rice later this week. I was going to put in a can of Italian style petite diced tomatoes, but I'm going to have to do that in a little bit after this is cooked, because we learned my daughter is very allergic to tomatoes, so we will be careful with putting that in our food. So I'll add that in last minute. I have some white beans. The idea with doing this was not to like replace our protein with beans, but I'm really struggling with finding good protein options. So that's going to be kind of fun to just learn a little bit more and whatnot. But see what we can do. Just do what we can do, right? So I have some baby spinach. This is what we got from our food trucks. So I'm going to pick through that. I'll add that in last minute along with some zucchini. Zucchini can get very mushy and can cook really quickly. And I don't want to overcook the zucchini, so I'm kind of leaving it out for a little bit later. And I will show you, if I can, this is a company meal. But if I can, I will show you what we're going to have, or it being all done before I dish it out. We'll also be adding some fresh parsley. Okay, this is what's left of the soup. It's probably enough for 2 bowls. I'm going to put one aside for my daughter for tomorrow, because we're going to have bean and rice casserole, and I'll explain that in a minute. But it was really good. We had it with some homemade sourdough bread that the family brought, and a salad, and it was really good. Needed more salt, but after lunch's fiasco, I was not going to add salt. And then because we have a full babysitting day tomorrow, so this is Lydia Sen's bean and rice casserole. I know I've shared it with my viewers before, but in here is just rice, beans, homemade salsa, taco seasoning, and then water because we're not using chicken broth, salt, and let's see, I'm just going to pop this in the oven now because it needs to cook for 90 minutes, and then tomorrow it'll be all ready. I have a lid I can pop over the top. Oh, and I put nutritional yeast in here because usually I top this with some cheese, but we're not going to use that this week. And then, but we do have avocado that we're going to serve with it. So this is just my meal prep now. I also am meal prepping a little bit for later. So there is our bowl of fruit that we're going to have with the muffins, and we're cutting up bananas to freeze, and then we'll have them ready for smoothies later. So that's tonight's prep and meal, and so far so good.
Hey, where's my... Can you just sit over there?
Here's our dinner tonight. Salad, vegetables. These are buffalo bites made with cauliflower and some rice.
Hi!
And we really like this cauliflower dish. No comments from the peanut gallery?
Hello. Cool. All I can say.
I meant to message you last night. I meant to update you last night on things like protein intakes, because that was something my husband and I were figuring out. And a medical website said that for my husband's weight, stature, and everything like that, he would need approximately 50 pounds of protein per day. I would need about 90, and the kids need about 36. And yesterday's protein intake does not include the pancakes that the kids made as a snack. It does not include the oatmeal cookies that they had as a snack. It does not include all of the fruits and vegetables that the kids ate as a snack. Just didn't keep track of all that. But what I could keep track of with the breakfast and the lunch and the dinner, breakfast was about 8+ grams of protein, only calculating the almond and the oat flour. I did not calculate the egg that was in there, or 2 eggs, I don't remember. The zucchini, I did not calculate every single thing. So that is 8+ grams, and fruit. And then dinner with the rice and the cauliflower and the salad and the sweet potato and all the sides, there was approximately 8 grams of protein in that meal. Again, not including all of the other things. The bean and rice casserole that we had for lunch had approximately 21 grams of protein. And again, that doesn't include things like drinking milk and all of that. I'm using this macadamia milk in the smoothies today. We did a peanut butter and banana, a chocolate peanut butter and banana. The chocolate powder, 2 scoops, and it made about 3 servings for the kids. This had 18 grams of protein. 18 divided by 3 is 6 grams per person. This has, we do 1 scoop, so 2 tablespoons. I would say that's approximately right. This has 7 grams of protein divided 3 ways. You have another 2 grams there approximately. There's a cup here. Yeah, maybe a little more than a cup. This has 1 gram of protein. So this did not have a whole lot to divide 3 ways. But there is that, and then the banana. So you're looking at 10 grams. 10 grams of protein for your smoothie. Trying to think. There's not enough there. So, I am now making my breakfast smoothie. The oat also has about 1 gram of protein. It really didn't add much. So for this one, I'm gonna do spinach with it. And I found several different sources that say different amounts for spinach, so I'm gonna go by the back of this. Serving size is 4 cups. A serving size has 2 grams of protein. There's no way I'm putting 4 cups in here, just so you know. So we're gonna have half a gram protein for that. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into all the details, but I am keeping track of protein, and things like other snacks are rice cakes and peanut butter, or almond butter, or sunflower butter. So we are keeping track of that, just to keep everyone updated. Okay, for lunch we are doing a fried rice, and there is no corn in here yet, but remember I was going to add all that corn in there from the previous soup. But I have to make sure that I get my daughters out because we recently learned she needs to avoid corn. So, but now we've added it, so we have some corn, peas, spinach, mushrooms, onion, garlic, soy sauce, pepper, mushrooms, all kinds of yumminess. Oh, and I did add egg. I've decided it just needs an egg, and eggs are good. So, not completely plant-based, but we're just going to take it and we're going to run with it. So, here's our lunch for today. Just some basic taco soup for dinner.
You're not engaged, Emma.
Okay, so here's the haul for this week from the food trucks. There is a lot of cheese. We'll be keeping busy on that. Hold on to your hats about this one. We have 8 things of the spring mix. We have some blueberries. We received a small bag of cutie apples from the couple, and more grapes, and then 2 pounds of the pistachios, as well as an extra what did we say, 6 bags, 7 bags, 6 bags. For those that do not normally watch my videos, when I do the food truck hauls, I'm also making sure that there are 4 families in our church that get to kind of share in the bounty, and so a lot of this also was divvied out to them. And here's what we're going to have for lunch. Nice green salad with some sunflower kernels and some of the pistachios we got today. Okay, here is dinner tonight. I had 2 sweet potatoes I diced and fried up. Some cilantro lime rice. We are pretty much out of the limes and cilantro, so I added some green onion to that. 2 things of beans. This is some freezer salsa that I had from baking all the salsa last year. Some lettuce, some sauerkraut, and this is what a bowl can look like. And there's some ranch if somebody wants to topple it. There's this. It's not vegan or vegetarian or whatever, but it's using up food that we have. So that's what we have going on here. Today is Thursday. We are 5 days. Hello.
Hi.
We are 5 days into our plant-based meal insofar as possible. We've added eggs into it with certain foods that we've been eating, so not completely plant-based, and the ranch, but we're doing it in so much as possible. Today it's time for dinner, and pretty much today has just been leftovers, with the exception of breakfast, which was quick oats, but we had piano, and I was actually making breakfast during piano because we got up late today. And then lunch and dinner is just a smorgasbord of leftovers. Lunch was the fried rice, and then other kids did applesauce and rice cakes with some kind of nut butter, some mangoes, some apples and peanut butter, all kinds of everything that you could imagine. So actually I'm going to cover that up and use this later. So tonight you have your choice of, actually this is the onion soup, and that's going to be a base of something else because nobody will eat that. We have a little bit more fried rice, some of the taco soup, and some of the bean and rice casserole. So this is what's left, and everybody can choose what they want, and we can kind of clean out the fridge, and that's what we're going to do tonight. Good evening. I believe I showed breakfast, but I don't think we talked about lunch. Actually, I know we didn't talk about lunch. For lunch, we had a delicious lunch. 5 stars from everybody. It was potatoes, it was sweet potatoes, it was corn, not corn, carrots, zucchini, onion, and Lawry's seasoning sprinkled all over it. Some put barbecue sauce over theirs. We had the smoothies a little bit late, so we kind of had a lighter lunch. And yeah, that was really good, and a lot of fruit. We've had a lot of mangoes today, and then we kind of have a interesting background view. But we had one kid make the corn tortillas for us to eat while I was doing more dehydrating. So he made this for us for lunch. Dinner. The other 2 things that we were looking at making, which was a wild rice soup or the lentil meatballs, is going to take a long time, and it's already 7 o'clock. So we're going to kind of scramble. We're going to scramble for a dinner here. So that's what we're going to do for dinner. There's that, and then we've had some people request this, so I'm going to cut that up, and we'll probably put together a salad and just kind of have a lighter type of dinner tonight. We have some people just not that hungry, and others that are hungry. There are leftovers and all kinds of stuff. So that's the update for today. Tomorrow is our last day of 1 week of plant-based, and I'll keep you posted on how that goes. So we ended up making one of my favorite salads. It's an Asian inspired salad. I'm not sure what it's called. Hey guys, it's a little loud. But it's a head of cabbage. We put dates and sunflower seeds and rice vinegar and sesame oil and avocado oil, a little bit of sugar. I will leave a similar recipe down in the description box for you. And we're dicing up some pecans because I don't have slivered almonds, and we're just making this work for us. So yeah, we're adding that to tonight's dinner. Hello from my kitchen. Today is Saturday, and I have not picked up the camera once. It's been a full day here in our household. So let me get you up to date on what we did for meals and what's going on and what's to come. For breakfast, my daughter made eggs for everybody. So not plant-based, but we needed it. And so that was breakfast. For lunch, I made a potato soup using potatoes and cauliflower, and the consensus was that was a flop as well. What else? Oh, and now we're on to dinner. And for dinner, we are going to have meatballs. I will leave the recipe that I'm using down below. I left a couple without barbecue sauce because my daughter can't do tomato, so we're working that out. So, also in the works is we are going to attempt several different gluten-free bread recipes. That is going to be a video coming up where we make several different breads and try different recipes, and I was hoping to figure out the cost, but that may be too much for this brain to handle at this time. But we will be giving you a review on several of the different breads we've done. The first bread up is looking pretty good, and I'm pretty excited about it. It may be a hit. It's got really good shape. It looks like it's not so heavy like some of the breads are. So looking forward to sharing that with you coming up. But we're going to put that with some of our meatballs, and we're going to do some green beans, and we're going to do a salad with it. And I have a little bit of rice left over from what was not used in the meatballs, so anybody can have that wants it. So that's what we're working on, and then we will finish up our 1 week of being plant-based. And I have a surprise for you. Everybody has agreed to sit down and share thoughts. So we're gonna do that tonight at the dinner table.
Oh my word!
I need we don't have the right knife. We need a serrated knife, which is what you use for bread. So this is my baker and helper, so he's going to take the first bite.
Okay. Hey, no, not really.
Wanna try, mommy? It's hot.
Alright.
Can you show them this? Can you tell them this is a horsey?
Nice.
What is that?
It's a horsey.
It's a horsey? Very nice. Here's your dinner. Well, we completed our week with plant-based, and I was hoping all of you would tell me some things you thought about, what you thought about.
It was torturous. I thought I was gonna die. It actually wasn't that bad.
Sit down, John.
I could do it. I could probably do it again. Yeah, no.
What did you think?
John.
I don't know.
You don't know? Insofar as in kind of upping our vegetable intake, do you feel like we ate more vegetables than what we normally do?
Not really.
I think so.
Yeah.
Think so?
I didn't really think so. I mean, most of it.
Sit right on the chair, please.
There was like
A lot of those things, and
But
the problem
we would have
is
done that
kids
anyway.
Still don't want to eat their vegetables.
Yes. But I would say that we would have eaten a lot of that anyways because that's what came on the food trucks. Whether we were plant-based this week or not. But what about some of the recipes? We all know that we will not try the French onion soup again.
yes.
No.
That had us crying for an hour with onions.
And it wasn't that great.
Salty.
And it did not taste that good. It was
and vinegary taste. We're not.
so that one.
That make mushroom soup. Yes, mushroom soup.
Katie says, I'll pass on both. Katie, did you like the vegan meatballs we had tonight? Were they really good? Do you know what the base of those are? Mushrooms.
Her face. Were they?
Yes, they are mushroom based. Okay, so let's get back to seriousness. What were some of the recipes that seemed unique this week that you enjoyed?
Bread.
more bread, and more bread.
What's that one?
Yeah, like
The
the
fried rice was one. That one was.
yeah, that was really
Yeah.
good. I can't remember.
I like the.
But it was
That's
like
probably
regular
unique,
eggs.
though, because we've had that before.
I know. Well, because we normally don't add green beans to fried rice, and we did that because we didn't know what else to add. And I didn't have the corn in it, which tasted really bad. I missed the corn. I don't remember if there was any more recipes.
Wait, you missed the corn?
I don't even remember
I can't.
all the recipes.
I know there was a lot of.
We did the vegan burrito bowls on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, that one. That one was the
That was the sweet potatoes and the rice.
that one. That's the one that I like.
Wait, what was it?
The vegan bowls with the sweet potatoes, the fried rice, or I mean, the sweet
Cilantro
potatoes,
rice.
the potatoes, the cilantro rice. Yeah, remember that?
And the black beans and the lettuce. We had that before we head to lunch.
Yeah. I
So
didn't really
I-
like that one as much.
I would
as
say
this,
that
Except the meatballs were really spicy.
And I did like yesterday's meal.
What
which was
The potatoes, sweet potatoes.
yeah. So that was a good lunch.
We
That
had
was
barbecue sauce and it was pretty good too.
Oh yeah, that one.
And then we ran out and Mom started crying.
Yeah, I know. I was like.
I gave her some.
We
put
did
some barbecue
vegan
sauce in mine.
taco soup
That one was weird.
That one tasted very,
Because-
because it had peas in it. We don't normally put peas in our soup, and it did have kind of more of an off taste, I
And
think.
I think you guys added corn and tomatoes, and those
Those-
were the two main things that I missed
Yeah.
in it.
So there was that. I think the hardest thing I want to say was breakfast because we mainly did like grains or smoothies.
Yeah. It was either muffins or smoothies.
And instead of kind of adding eggs or sausage or something to it. So
Yeah.
but okay, so in terms of feeling full, how did you guys, were you guys more hungry this week? Were you about the same? But in terms of, do you guys feel like you had enough to eat? Or full?
Well,
Yeah.
More hungry?
it depended on
'Cause-
what it was.
Because vegetables and if they're combined right, they are filling because they're not like carbohydrates. Carbohydrates just perpetuate the hunger cycle.
Well, the carbohydrates, we had more beans this week. That was, I think, my setback. Is that I feel like we replaced a lot of our regular recipes with just meatless and then used beans for the added protein.
Mom,
Oh, that was the one thing that y'all liked. That was the buffalo cauliflower.
Oh,
Yes. It was like a buffalo wing, but made with cauliflower.
oh my word.
covered
Yes.
in Frank's Red Hot.
So that was one that y'all liked. But I would say that our carb intake was higher this week because we used rice. But I would
Rice and beans.
Mom.
but I would say our calories were probably lower because vegetables have a lower calorie, so maybe the
Take
combined.
into account the sneaking into the pantry and the refrigerator.
Making pancakes in the evening.
Pancakes technically counted.
But we definitely ate more fruit.
Yes.
I
And
ate like 5 mangoes.
I don't feel like we really added more vegetables to our palate.
And the thing with vegetables, you have to know, you need to know what you're getting so that you can find good ways to prepare them that are gonna not just taste like you're just throwing vegetables out there with no palatable.
Yeah.
They've got to be, you have to kind of study them and figure out how to prepare them so that they do have a good taste to them.
Which is why I
more or
think.
less.
Do you remember, Emma might remember, when we did the crates. What were those called?
What?
The food crates that came every week.
Oh, and cauliflower.
Oh,
Yeah. What were those called?
um,
Abundant Harvest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Abundant Harvest, where each week we would get local produce, but we would get a variety of things, and one of the things that we had to do was kind of learn how to use the different
A
vegetables.
lot of those
They're
we would
pretty
just
unique.
roast them.
Yeah.
Like we.
But we learned how to make that daikon radish soup. That was really good. That spring, it was a very refreshing. We did a lot of spring rolls.
I miss spring rolls.
So, in terms of using vegetables, I think a lot of the recipes that we ended up doing really well was with the Oriental recipes. Because the Orientals really know how to use. Anyway, so everybody kind of abandoned, but I think, and it was a good experience. I'm not upset that we did
Soul
it.
crushing.
Soul crushing.
Soul crushing. No red meat.
No bread. We had bread tonight. The bread wasn't the issue.
I said no red meat.
No red meat.
No beef.
Well, another thing too is it
I love my beef.
forces you to use stuff you have.
Yes. Well, like the onion soup. We had all those onions and
There was a lot more variety of food.
And like I said earlier, so that you can do what you can to research, look at different videos or different articles to know how to prepare them so they're not repulsive.
one thing I was trying to keep track of, just out of curiosity, was would there be more kids that were kind of tired? Like, would I see kids kind of more laying around? Not necessarily lethargic. I don't think you would get that after 1 week, but just maybe a lack of energy. And no, there was none of that. And that was just to make sure that they were getting enough protein and calories. And I know 1 week necessarily wouldn't have done enough of that, which is why I just wanted to do the 1 week. I don't think realistically we could do a second week. I think we need our meats, and everybody is looking forward to some chickens, to some beef. Another thing I was, just out of curiosity, was making sure that I was drinking enough water, because I think when you increase your vegetable intake like this and all the fiber and beans and all of that, I don't think we as a family drank enough water. I would say that the Berkey was not being filled adequately this week for that.
I got at least.
So I'm here editing the video and it got really chaotic, and I realized, oh yeah, I was going to wrap up the video later and I forgot. So I hope you enjoyed all the thoughts and things and interviews and whatever that went into making the video this week, and just our project, and hope it gave you kind of ideas. We didn't go all out with making really exotic recipes. I tried to keep it to things that we were used to eating, with the exception of the cauliflower buffalo thing. I had really been wanting to try that one, and that was a huge hit, so I'm really glad that that turned out. And I will try to leave all the recipes linked down in the description box below. It was a really interesting week just to kind of see what this would look like, and to just see how much or how well it would work for our family. It was definitely, I'm really glad that I did it on a spring break week, which means I babysit. If you don't know, I'm a homeschooling mom of 5, and I babysit in addition while it's spring break, and I didn't have as many kids this week as we normally have because of that. So some took their spring vacations, and I was thankful for that, because I did end up needing extra time in the kitchen to kind of prepare all of these things. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. Here's a reward for you, but in essence, I just wanted to show our large family attempting this
and it's pluses and minuses and ups and downs and all arounds. And I will see you in my next video. Catch you next time.